You do less, but you get more. Well, hey there. Welcome back. Do you have any limitations? Oh, yes, of course you do. Let's talk about them. And I think your first reaction is, well, here we go. We're gonna explore how I'm not good enough at something, or how I don't even do a thing. No, we're not doing that at all. In fact, we are going to look at why limitations are so important and how they actually make a product, a business, and a person better. What? Is this real life? Yes, I'm here to tell you, yes it is. I read a book a while back called The Myth of Excellence, and one of the things it says in the book, and I'm paraphrasing, is the best way to sort of destroy your business and go out of business is to try to be good at everything. Years ago, I worked at a firm that had that same motto. And they tried to be good at everything and tell all of their clients that they could do anything and everything that their clients were asking, and they couldn't. In their quest to be good at everything, they were essentially good at nothing. When I started this podcast, and we are approaching 300 episodes, when I started it, the very first episode, I set a rule for myself. I set a limitation, and the limitation was I would keep the episode, if it was just me, to about 10 minutes. I have adhered to that, and every so often I go over to maybe 11 or 12 minutes, and then I apologize profusely. That limitation has helped me to have a better show. It has helped me to have a show that's better because it forces me to be more concise, but it also makes my show very different. When people find out that my show is only 10 minutes long, they're shocked. And they're shocked in a very pleasant way. They're like, oh, I can digest that. Oh, I'll just go empty the dishwasher and listen to your show. Oh, okay, wow, that's it? I've had multiple people come to me and say, oh yeah, I listened to like 7 of your episodes. Wow. So that's really a cool thing. That limitation has been very advantageous. At the time of year that this podcast episode is coming out is we're ending the year, and it's when everyone is making New Year's resolutions and saying they're going to be better and this and that. They're probably looking at limitations as something they're going to overcome. And yes, there are certain things that you want to improve. You want to be better at weight loss. You want to be better at consistency, at this, that, the other thing. Yes, so you're sort of overcoming your scale and you're saying, I want this to be a 7 when it's only a 3 right now. That's fine. What I'm talking about are limitations that are typically self-imposed for a reason. If you're running a business and you set limitations, you will find that very comforting. You will create a sort of comfort zone for you, your skills, your people, and yourself. You can do that for yourself as well, where you have a limitation in something that you do, whether it's, well, when people ask for rides or they ask for favors, I have a limitation of such and such. And it can help you to maintain consistency and integrity. And you're kind of shaking your head right now going, wait, I never really looked at it that way. It's a positive thing? Yes, it's an absolute positive thing. Getting back to my use of it, when I interview people, and I am exceedingly grateful for the chances I've had so far with interviewing people. When I interview people, I always start it by telling them, when I first approach them, I'm only going to use an hour of your valuable time, no more, I promise. And I'm surprised at how many of those people view that as they act like this is a new thing. Like no one has ever approached them for an interview and said, here's our time limit. And there are obvious reasons for that, right? If you are running a show and you get somebody that you think is going to be really good, you want to squeeze every single delicious minute out of them that you can. So you are actually doing yourself a disservice in their short-sighted view of it, of saying, hey, I told the guy it was only an hour, but he was willing to go longer. Darn it. Why did I do that? Well, if he is willing to go longer, then you can go longer. And I had a guest that easily did an hour and a half and wanted to actually do more, where I actually had to push back and say, you know what, why don't you come back? So, again, a limitation simply related to the podcast and timing. And I want to stress again that these limitations, unlike self-improvement limitations per se, are self-imposed limitations that have to do with something that you think is a good thing. Like, for example, this is not, oh, I'm just going to limit myself to have only 1.5 cakes. No, I'm not talking about like limiting your eating and things like that. That's a different concept. This concept is there's a thing that I do or enjoy or could do, but I don't. And getting back to the business again, if you're a creator, and let's say you create 3D printed objects, you may limit yourself to things that are not so fragile, or things that are small, or things that are really easy to ship. Can you create and print the larger things? Absolutely. Are those high-ticket items? Absolutely. Are those things that people request? Sure. But you may just say, no, I limit myself and I don't do those. Maybe if I do a in-person fair somewhere, I may print those and bring those with me. But when it comes to my online store, I limit myself to only doing the little tiny things. Could Chick-fil-A be open on a Sunday? Yes, but they limit themselves and they're not open on a Sunday. Not being open on a Sunday costs them an estimated $1 billion, with a B, dollars of revenue. But they actually gain more than that because it gives them more brand recognition. It increases scarcity because people think, it's closed. Oh, I better go there on Tuesday then. So it's a net gain for them limiting themselves of actually not allowing their customers to buy their products on one day every single week. Hobby Lobby is the same way, and they both create a certain image in the mind of many consumers, an image that they cannot create without creating that limitation. If they say, oh yeah, we have morals and ethics in this and we want our people to be taken care of. Sure, any business can say that, but a business that actually forces itself to be closed on a specific day can say that. You too can create that perception, and I don't mean just a perception like it's false. I mean a perception in other people of your behavioral patterns by enforcing a limitation. You can present yourself as someone who's very friendly to your friends and say, oh yeah, I'll help out anytime, just call me. Okay, but a lot of people say that. But if you say, if you want me to help you, let me know, but you're going to give me some lead time or I can't help you. It shows them that you're serious. It shows them that you actually are committing to helping them, but they are going to also have to come step up to you and say, hey, I didn't just think of this out of nowhere. I actually need help and I'm going to do some planning. Do emergencies happen? Of course. But I'm saying by pushing back and forcing a limitation on your kindness in a way, it can help people to say, oh, he's actually serious about that. Banks, restaurants, retail, etc., etc. The list goes on. There probably isn't a business out there that doesn't have a limitation that they self-imposed. There isn't a business out there that some of the people in a round table, CEO, CFO, what have you, C-suite people, marketing, what have you, sat down and said, well, we could do this, right? And the answer was, yes, but we're not going to. And we're not going to because it is a limitation that we are imposing. And there's usually pushback of, yes, but we'll see this increase in revenue. Yes, but it's just not part of our brand, or it's just moving forward, not something we really want to do. Imposing limitations on yourself, your business, etc., can be extremely valuable. It can be something that reduces your stress, reduces your time, energy, and resources. Again, it's one of those things I try to introduce in these podcasts where you do less, but you get more. And it shouldn't work that way, but it does. So what in your life is something that you intentionally or unintentionally have realized you're setting a limitation on? And if you're a business owner, this may be something that is a 50-page document, your operating agreement. Or if you're a person running a human being, yourself or your children, it may be something that you've just come to realize is something that you do. So what do you do? What do you not do? And why? It's something worth looking into. And again, if you're using the Checkmark app, then this podcast will automatically have its own little worksheet built in that you can click and copy to your clipboard and then kind of go through the homework of this. And it's not homework per se, but it's something that it's a really cool thing that allows you to kind of go through review of this episode. And I don't really know of any other podcasts out there that try to give you a lot of good information in 10 minutes and then allow you to use a fun little app to go through it and say, oh yeah, yep, I did this. And it's much better at retaining, and it's kind of a fun interactive thing. And that, my friends, is my 10 minutes. Thank you.
Living life every day, letting all I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days.
I want to announce that my new book, my 10th, is out. It's called Because, the fundamental psychological building blocks that enable you to, or prevent you from, accomplishing anything, everything, and nothing. Check it out on Amazon. It's only $9.99.